Wish me luck. I'm going to try to walk you through creating these drawings. This is an example of the end product. These are the professional working drawings that will show everyone what you're capable of. We are going to keep our working drawings short and sweet. We're going to do 5 papers, or 5 sheets, I should say. So if you look in your browser, you're going to have 5 sheets all in one document. So this is all one saved document. So there'll be a title sheet, a multi-view of your assembly. Pick any 2 parts and dimension them and create a multi-view. So there's my first part, second part. And then sheet number 5 is the explosion with the parts list. This is what we need to do to get this final product. Google Classroom. Google Classroom, download the Rocky drawing paper. Download and open. Here's my Rocky drawing paper. It looks great. It says Rock Island High School, got the big RI. Before I do anything, I'm saving as, not in my downloads. I want it in my Google Drive file stream, wherever my truck folder is. There's my truck folder. I'm going to call it Truck Drawings 2019. Now that I have it saved in the right spot, from here on out, I could just click this cute little picture, and it's going to be my save shortcut. So now I'm going to follow the directions on the paper. For step 2, I have to create the title page. It says go to base and use this little button to open an existing file. For my title page, I want my assembly. So I'm going to use the assembly, that's an explosion. I'm going to use the assembly that I created earlier this week. There it is. I can have any view I want. This is my set of working drawings. I kind of like the isometric, and I want it to be bigger. I'm going to do 3/4. There it is. And I want it shaded, so if I want it to be shaded, I can click this. If I want to show hidden lines, I click that. If you don't want hidden lines, you click that. That looks nice. I have a picture of my assembly. Next thing I need is a text box that tells everyone it's my work, what year it is. Go to the Sketch tab, start a sketch, click on the paper. Once I click on the paper, the big A text box is available. Click on that, and then now draw a box on your paper. This opens up the format text box. This is where I'm going to type my information. Automobilox truck project. Rock Island High School. Ooh. 2019. If I want to change the size of this text, I first have to highlight it and go up here and change the size. I can change the font. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. I'm going to stick with that. Make it centered. This is your project. Make it what you want. It doesn't have to look exactly like mine. It just has to look nice. So that looks good. I'm going to finish sketch, and I can still move stuff around, kind of organize it however I want. I want to move this maybe a little lower. I can. I'm happy with that. So I'm calling my title page done. Back to the Place Views tab, new sheet. I'm going to get a new sheet ready so I can do the next page, which is the multi-view of my assembly. Putting my name in my project. Page 2. This is the page where I do a multi-view of my assembly. File folder again, find my assembly. The multi-view is 3 views working together, 3 two-dimensional views working together to give us the whole picture of the truck. Remember, the front view in engineering is not the front of a car like we would think, like this. In engineering, the front view shows the most detail and the longest dimensions. So this is my front view. All I have to do, I'm not clicking anything, I'm just dragging my mouse up. That creates my top view. Drag my mouse over, that creates my side view. Drag my mouse diagonal, that creates my isometric. I like that. I think it looks good. I'm going to do shaded again because I like the color. Click OK. So it looks kind of clustered over here in this corner. So I'm going to make one of these, the front view, I'm going to make it so it has the red dotted line around it. And I'm going to click on that red dotted line and move it. Notice how they all move together as one because it's one multi-view sketch. Looks good. Page 2 is done. Back to the Place Views tab. New sheet. Oh, here we go again, writing my name again. This page is going to be any two parts that you want. You're going to create a multi-view of any two parts. Does not matter which two parts you pick. I'm going to do the passenger base because that one's a fun one, all those shapes. I'm going to do 3/4 because that looked kind of tiny. So front view, top view, side view. There we go. And we'll do shaded. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing, kind of move it just so it looks good. There's part 1. I need to do one more part. So new sheet. Whew, name again. This time I'm going to pick a different part. Passenger section. That's the one I want. I feel like this is probably the best front view of my passenger section. So I'm going to use this. So again, dragging my mouse up and clicking, there's my top view, side view, isometric. That looks good. Click OK. Drag it to where I want it. There we go. So now I think I just need one more sheet. Yes, one more sheet. So I have my 5 sheets. Write my name. On this last sheet, I'm going to create my explosion. So I find my explosion in my truck folder. Find a good view of my explosion. I like this one. Let's see if I do 1/2. It still looks a little bit. Do 1/3. I like 1/3 scale. That looks nice. I'm going to move that to the bottom corner. So now I'm trying to decide what to do next. Let's go ahead and finish with this page. I'm going to go to the Annotate tab, and I'm going to go to Parts List. In my Parts List window that pops up, I'm going to browse for the same explosion that I just put into my working drawing. So I did Truck Explosion B. Then I'm going to just click OK, and this little box shows up. I want my Parts List box to appear right here. I want to edit this because I don't see any point of having this column, description column, when there's nothing in it. To edit it, I'm going to double click Parts List. And this first option here called Column Chooser, I'm going to click it. So description, I'm going to click on that and I'm going to say remove it. But I would like to have the author in there. I'm going to add the author. And I'm also going to add material because most of us remember to change the material as we were making the parts. I'm going to add that. Click OK, click Apply, and OK. So this is my more accurate parts list. Looks good. The only thing I have to do now is balloon. I'm going to click on this balloon button, and I have to balloon each of these parts. And the wheel, we can see we did a subassembly, so it got combined to just be one part, which is fine. So I'm going to make the part red, click, drag, double click. So here, windshield, click, drag, double click. Base, click, drag, double click. I'm trying to keep it looking nice. Passenger section, click, drag, double click, front of the truck. And you can do each of the wheel assembly separate. So if I do the tire, maybe I should do the tire over here. and the wheel and the axle, they will all show up as number 6 because on my parts list, it's a wheel subassembly, and that's okay. Just shows that there's 3 parts to that subassembly. So that looks pretty great. I'm happy with that. So I only have a couple more things to do before I'm completely done. I'm going to go back to sheet 3. So I'm going to press escape just to make sure I'm not, and I'm going to double click sheet 3. What I have to do to sheet 3 is dimension. Just going to click the dimension button, and I'm going to say like from here to here. I just want that dimension. I like how Autodesk turns it kind of was dotted. That tells me it's a good distance. So I'm just going to dimension my 2 parts that I put into my working drawings, and then I will be all done. Remember, do not over dimension and never dimension the isometric. You don't do that. So go ahead and dimension your 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. So part 1 that you had in there and part 2 will need dimensions. And then once you're done with that, you are all done. So, oops, I already saved it, remember? So I can just have to go to the shortcut save and then show it to me so I can put it in the grade book. And you are all done with the truck project. Woo!